Hello, this is Excel Pause and Practice 4-3. For this, we will need the completed exercise 4-2, which I have here, and make sure that the enable content you see here is clicked on so that the file is editable. Okay, click on enable content, and then let's start with the task 3. We have opened the file, we have made it editable, and now we are task 3. Select the workbook and save it as Excel PP4-3. I'm going to save it now onto my your initials PP4-3. We're going to save it like that. That's the end of task 3. Task 4, we are using flash fill to create an email address and remove the duplicates. So select the flash fill sheet tab. We are here in the flash fill sheet tab. Flash fill is here. And select the flash fill sheet. I've selected that. Select cell C5. C5 is here. In that we are going to type B period Francine at ourcompany.com. Okay, hit enter. Now this converts into a link. Now when you go to select C6, we are in C6 now. When you type A, it automatically fills up. See, depending upon the first name. For example, let me do it for you. When you type A, it will automatically, there you go. See, it automatically fills up all the emails for you here. Okay. Now, when you hit enter, it's going to flash fill the whole option. There you go. See, so it fills up all the emails. It's called a flash fill function. If you want to find it, you can find it in the data tab group. If you go to data tools, you will find the flash fill here. Okay, you could use that for email, you could use it for numbers or characters, or you could use it for emails and so on. Okay, so that's task 4D. 4F, type email address in cell C4. We're going to go here, cell C4, and we're going to type email address. ADDRESS. Enter. And then format the label in C4 as bold and center alignment. We got to make this bold. That's available in the home, font, bold, and then you could align it to center. Let's see, center align. Okay, that's what we did here. The bold and center alignment. Increase the width of the email address column to 31. So this is the column email. So you can select the whole column by clicking here, and then you could either right click and select the column width and enter 31. Okay, so we've increased the column width to 31 now. Okay. Next we go to H4H, select cell A5. We are in A5, and then start remove duplicates. Now if there are any duplicates, it's going to remove the duplicates command. For that you go to data tab, data tools tab, and then there's a remove duplicates here. Okay, remove duplicates, and it says deselect renter name and location boxes, because we renter name and location boxes are to be deselected. Let's select it. Because we want to remove only the duplicate email addresses that are there. Okay, we are just filtering it based on email address, and then when you click OK, it's going to remove 2 duplicates. Let's see, there are 2 duplicates already here. There may be 2 duplicates here. Let's check that. Francine, if you visually check it, you will see that there are 2. I can do that now, but it will tell you. See, there are 2 duplicate values found and removed, 25 unique values. Okay, so 2 of the duplicates were removed. Okay, that's the end of task 4. Next we go to task 5. Use the left function to display a code prefix. Select the catalogs code sheet. We are going to go to catalogs code. There is a sheet called catalog codes here. Select that sheet. Okay, now click on cell F5. So we're going to go to F5. F5, we are here. Okay, code prefix. Okay, so we're going to use the text button, formulas tab for function library, and click on left. Okay, for the argument, we are going to use B5. B5. So we are going to create codes for the locations. Okay, right. For that, let's do that. So catalog code, we are in F5. Now we click on the text tab in the formulas tab, text tab, and then we select the character left. I mean the formula left, and in the text box column, enter B5. We're just following the instructions. B5, and then the characters, number of characters, you select 3. So it's going to take the first 3 letters of that word and create it as a code. Okay, click OK. There you go. See, GAL, the first 3 letters are taken, and so now we're going to copy the same formula from F6 to F28. Let's do that. F6 to F28. You can use a fill handle like that. It works. Okay. Or you could also do a copy and paste. Okay. You could go to home and you could do copy, and you could select the whole thing and then paste it. Okay. There you go. So you can select the whole thing and then paste. That is also possible. There you go. That also works. Continuously keep saving the file from time to time. Okay. Right. So now we have completed task 5. Now we go to task 6. Use the length function to count the characters. So for example, here we have 3 characters. Here we have 6 characters. How do we count the characters in a particular cell, or how many sentences or how many letters? So for that, let's select the pop-up sheet tab. Pop-up sheet tab is right here at the bottom. You see there are several sheets here. Select the pop-up sheet, and then we go to G5. Now we go to G5. We are in G5. We're going to calculate the character of this pop-up text. Okay, for that we use the text tab. Again, we select the formula length, or LEN. Okay, for that let's go to formulas, text. All these formulas are relating to the text. Okay, here we go. So we are going to select the LEN tab, and then we go on to click cell F5 in the argument text. Okay, F5, because we are going to select from this F column. This is what we're going to select and calculate the text. Okay, so we're going to calculate the 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with parking. How many letters are there? We're going to calculate. Okay, so click OK. There are 42 characters in this sentence here. Okay, now we're going to copy the formula to from G6, from G5 to all the way from G6 to G28. Okay, so you could either copy it. So go back to home, copy, and you can select the whole thing and then paste it, or you could just use a fill handle, whichever way is convenient for you. Okay, so it just calculates the thing for the length of the text that is in here. And once again, I'm saving my file, and that's the end of task 6. Now we are starting task 7. We are going to create a pivot table. For that, we need to click on the rentals sheet tab and go to cell A5. Okay, first we're going to navigate to the rentals sheet tab, which is here. Rental sheet tab is here, and then we are going to click on a pivot table. We are creating a pivot table. Click on recommended pivot tables in the insert tab, tables group. Insert. In the tables group, you could check in the tables group, you could select recommended pivot tables, and in that, oh sorry, we should be on A5. The reason why it's not working is because we have to be on A5. We have to be on A5 in order to select the table. Select A5, then go to recommended tables, on tables, recommended pivot tables. Now it gives you the tables. Here we go. We need to select sum of average $225 by state. See here it says there are 3 of them, but this is the one that we want. Sum of the average 225 by state. Click OK. Now this actually creates a new sheet called pivot table. Name the sheet as pivot table. We're going to rename it. Right click on that and type pivot P-I-V-O-T table. Okay, that's 7E. Task 7E is finished. Table. Okay, pivot table. Enter. Now we have created a new sheet called pivot table, and we have used the data from the sum of average from the rentals sheet tab. Now we are going to add a field to the pivot table. This is task 8. Verify that a cell in the pivot table is selected. Select any cell in the pivot table. So we're going to select here. Okay, any cell is fine. Drag the days rented last year. So if you see here, days lent. If you select on this, okay, if you select this and choose the field added to the group values, the values group is right here. And if you select this, it automatically gets added here. If it is not adding, you could just drag it into this like that. But it already got added. Okay, right. So here we have added a new column to the pivot table. Okay, so that's the end of task 8. Now we format the value fields in the pivot table. Right click on B3. So we are here on B3. Right click and select the value field settings. There you go. Value field settings. We're just following the instructions. Click on the number format at the bottom. If you see there's a number format, click on that. Set it to currency with 0 decimal places. Make sure it is currency and the decimal places is 0. Okay. Click OK to close the box. Right click again. Right click. Okay. Now right click on cell C3. This is cell C3. We're going to right click on that. Again, go to value field settings, go to number format and set the values to number format. Okay, with 0 decimals. So we're going to be on number format and 0 decimals. That's what we are going to do. And we're going to click OK. Okay. So we click OK and then click OK. That's the end of it. That's the end of task 9F. Okay, now we go to task 10. Edit labels on the pivot table. Okay, select cell B3. We're going to select cell B3. B3 is right here. And type revenue, press enter. So instead of the sum of average, we are going to type revenue. Enter. Spelling error, I'm just going to correct it. Revenue, press enter. And C3 as days rented. Yes. Okay, auto fit the columns A to C. Now we're going to select the columns from A to C. And we are going to right click, or you could go to format cells and auto fit column width, or you could go to home and then go to cells, format, auto fit column width. You can do either of them. It automatically auto fits it to A and C. That's the end of task 10. Now we are in task 11, format a pivot table. Select cell A3. We are in A3 and then click more button. Okay. So design tab, pivot table styles group. Click the more button in the pivot styles group. Okay, we're going to select a color. So go to design. So in order for this design thing to appear, your tab has to be in the table. Okay. See, if you select outside, this will disappear. You see that? That design submenu will not appear. So if you are in the table, again, this appears. The submenu appears. Click on the design tab and then click on more buttons in the pivot table styles. Click more and you get a whole lot of designs, in that we are going to select white pivot style light 22 in the fourth row. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think this one is, yeah, white pivot style light 22. Select that. Okay, now this selects a design for the table. Select cells A4 to C11. A4 to C11. And apply all borders. Once again, it's in the Home tab, Font section, Borders, all borders. Okay. Now this creates all borders for the table. That's the end of task 11. Task 12, make a copy of the pivot table worksheet. Leave its name as pivot table 2. So how do we copy a sheet table? Go to the table name here, the sheet name right at the bottom. Right click on that and you see move and copy. Click move and copy, and then you type create a copy. Okay. So you have to create a copy and then click OK. All right. So what happens is it's going to create a new sheet called pivot table 2. Okay. There you go. See, it says pivot table 2. Let me maximize it to show you. It says pivot table 2. It says leave the file name as pivot label 2. Make a copy of pivot table worksheet, leave its name as pivot table 2. Okay. Right. Now adjust the fields in pivot table. So select cell A3 in the pivot table 2. See, now there are two pivot tables, pivot table and pivot table 2. We made a copy of that. Select cell A3 in pivot table 2, and this will display the pivot table pane here. You see this, there's a sub menu displaying here that is necessary. Drag the revenue field out of the values area. See, there's a revenues here. You have to click that and drag it into the table, then it will disappear. This revenue will just disappear. Okay, let's see. If you drag it back into the table, it will actually disappear. Okay, that means you're removing it from the pivot table. Okay. See, this field is removed from the pivot table now. Select the rental name box in the pivot table. Rental name. See, if you click this, see, for example, the rental name is here. Click on that and it will appear in the, for example. See, now here there are only two columns. Now once you select rental name, here you go. It will automatically appear here. You see this? The rental names are also added. That's the end of task 13. Now we are going to do task 14. Okay. So task 14, we are going to use an insert slicer button on the pivot table. Click on insert slicer. So we need to make sure that you are clicked inside the table anywhere. Now we are on A3. That's fine. Click on insert slicer. It's in the pivot table analyze tab. The reason I tell you you have to be in the table is because these sub menus will appear now. Okay. Click on pivot table analyze. Click on tools. And then there's a insert slicer. We are in 14. Click on pivot table, filter group, and stay. So we're going to go to pivot table analyze, and then we're going to do filter. Filter is here. Click insert slicer. Click insert slicer, and then select the state. Okay, select the state, and click OK. See, now only the names of the states have been sliced out of the pivot table, and this has to be the next task says select and drag the slicer window to position it at cell D3. So hold on to this. Once again, dragging is 4 arrow window and drag it to D3, which is here. You can drag it anywhere you want. You could just drag it to D3. Okay, right. That's the end of task 14. Task 15, create a pivot table, pivot chart. So we're going to select cell A3 again. We'll go click on A3 here, and then click on pivot chart from the pivot tables analyze button tools group. So pivot table analyze is here, and then tools, pivot chart. Okay, this creates a pivot. It gives you a list of all the charts, But let's follow the instruction. 15C says selected clustered bar from the bar group. So let's go to the bar group, select clustered bar, click OK. Once again, you have a new slice of a new chart. Okay. Position the chart object top left corner to D19 and the bottom to N40. Okay, let's do that. I'm going to maximize the Excel worksheet to show you D19 and N40. So we're going to move this to D19, which is here. Let's just position that to D19, and the bottom half of that should be to N40. 40, this is 40, and this is N40. There we go. That's the chart. Okay. That's the end of task 15. Now we go to task 16. Filter the chart pivot chart area. Click the state filter. Okay. Okay. Let's click on click state filter in the button in the chart. Okay, let's go to the chart. Let's make it a little bigger so we are all able to see. There's a chart button here. Click on this chart button filter. There you go. Make sure, click the select all box. Click that. Okay, select the boxes for IL, KY, MO, and TN. We're just following the instructions on 16C. Click OK. Now what happens is all the other states will disappear, but only the accepted ones will be there. There you go. Only this, the 4 states that were selected is available in the chart. Okay. Right. Next we go on to cell A1. Click on cell A1. And in one task, it also tells you to delete the total column. So click on the header total and delete that. Delete that. That should be in one of the tasks here. It should say select the chart and delete the total column. Okay. Right. See here it says in 15D, select the chart title which said total and delete that. Okay. And then select cell A1. Now we're at the end of it, select cell A1. Or there's a home button in your thing. Click Control Home, it takes you to A1. Save your file, and this is end of pause and practice 4-3. Save the file and submit your file.